Guenther Steiner and Greta Steiner, welcome to Talks to Go.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. We've interviewed in the past a lot of fathers who are in the sports industry and who either work in it now or have worked in it prior, and their daughters happen to not be in sports or sort of ignore sports in spite of their dads. So, Greta, I have to start with you and ask you, would you say it is sports that bond the two of you together, or is it something else that you feel like bonds you close?
I think it is sports because we're both very competitive sometimes. But I mean, we don't talk more about we talk more about the sport that I play than the sport that he does.
What sport do you play?
I used to do swim and I now play tennis.
Oh, nice. I'm a big tennis fan as well, so I love talking tennis all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gunter, how about you? Would you say the same thing as well? It's that competitive drive that bonds the two of you together.
Yeah, I would say so. It's always she's the only child, so obviously there's a special bond there. And
Mhm.
but no, obviously as Greta said, we talk a lot more about her sport than what I do because my sport, or I'm not doing it actually, the sport. I'm the manager of the sport. For her, it's more a job from the father, than a sport. Obviously, she knows about Formula One and motorsports in general,
Mhm.
but it's not like that she's a big a fan of it. She doesn't dislike it, but it's just like one of these things. It happens. We talk about it if something happened, but not that she has got any big interest in it.
Totally
Unfortunately,
understandable.
or fortunately, I don't know. You can put it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Greta, I'm curious, who's your favorite woman tennis player?
Iga Swiatek.
Iga. Okay.
Good
Hmm.
choice. Good choice.
Jill is a big Coco fan. By the way, Jill is my one and only as well.
Yep.
So we
Okay.
share, so we have that in common. I'm a big Sabalenka fan. Don't ask me why. I just love her game. I love her personality.
Mhm.
I think she's really,
Yeah.
really cool. Gunther, you have a newly released book called Unfiltered: My Incredible Decade in Formula One. On a scale of 1 to 10, how unfiltered is your relationship with Greta?
Pretty unfiltered on a scale to one, I would say nine. I cannot say 10. Nine being very unfiltered, 10 being very unfiltered, obviously, because you could go both ways. Yeah, nine, I would say. There is a limit, but, uh, she knows my character pretty well. First of all, I'm her father, so I'm at home, but she knows it also how I'm in public. And I think she knows that I'm not different in public than I'm at home.
Mhm. Greta, would you agree with that? It's out of nine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solid nine.
What would it
Mhm.
be like at a 10?
I
Oh,
don't know.
that would be rough.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Many fans have connected with you, Gunter, obviously through Drive to Survive. That's how I learned about the sport of Formula One and through found you guys. Um, a lot of people love you because of your candor and your great one-liners that are showed on the show, which sometimes includes profanity, which we know. Greta, how do you feel about your dad's unfiltered language?
I find it funny sometimes because it just sometimes people will like pop out with like the quote and I'm like, oh, but I find it funny when it just pops up, I guess. I don't know. We don't
You're
really
just
cuss
used to
to each
it.
other much.
The cussing stays
Not
out of the
much.
home.
Normally, father and daughter shouldn't cuss at each other at all. But in our household, it sounds like that she said, I cuss sometimes we cuss at each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favorite one-liner that he said? It doesn't even have to be from the show. It could be, something that was said between the two of you.
Not really, because I've heard a lot of them multiple times, so
Yeah. Yeah.
not really.
That's so fair. Greta, what was your initial reaction to Drive to Survive and your dad's growth in popularity in the F1 world?
I've actually never really watched Drive to Survive. I've never gone through it, only like the scenes where we're as like a family,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't really have any experience with Drive to Survive.
yeah. Was it, weird having cameras around the house at all? Or like, how did you feel about, people learning more about the sport in general?
I think the cameras around the house, it's if you know the people, then you're more comfortable like with the people who are filming. It's
Hmm.
more comfortable with them. But with the sport, I think it's good that more people are watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Very commercial answer.
Very
Very well
political.
trained, very media trained,
Yes, yes. She learns from the best.
Greta, do you find that your dad's persona, his public persona, is different than what we don't see when he's not on camera or in, dealing with a pit crew or anything like that? Is he different at home than what we see on television, Drive to Survive, for example?
Yes, he's different at home. He's nicer. He doesn't cuss as much. And I don't know, he's just there. He's there for all me and my mom, and that's nice to have.
Yeah.
Staying along those lines, is there one thing that you know about your dad that his fans would be surprised to find out about?
Is there?
I don't know. They're asking you, I leave it down to you. I mean, I'm not helping you here,
I don't.
You just have to say he's a very nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's nice, and people know that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's there for people when they need them, I guess, when they need him.
Yeah. I mean, all great qualities. Guenther, over to you. What is the best thing about being Greta's dad?
The best thing is, when I can spend time with her, that's the best thing for me. It's not always possible, but in general, it's just like, I mean, it's nice to have somebody like Greta around, because again, I'm getting older, and children keep you young. That's my opinion, that's my opinion. And, obviously, I think there will be nothing different in your household. I can just be stupid on technology, it's like, oh, how can you not know this? I don't know. How can I not know this? But it's just, it keeps you, it's much easier to stay current with somebody young around, and obviously, if you love them, that helps a lot as well, because then you can take it, it's a different approach.
Yeah. Do you ask Greta for advice with your Instagram and socials and all of that?
Yeah. I had to turn off his notifications because he originally, he did not have his he had his notifications on. He would get notifications every second. I'm like, let's just turn it off. He's like, how do I do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. In the beginning, that is how we started. That it was Greta, my wife. Because in the beginning, I was like, I don't really know if I want to do this. And then once I decided, I was had no clue how it works because and I still don't watch it really, So it's a little bit going into the unknown, and they helped a lot, to set it up and to run it because I don't do a lot with it, And all the, let's call it stupid ideas about all the what you call them, the dances, all the trends, guess who comes up with one? It isn't me, so
yeah. I mean, I was reading through the comments the other night and everyone was like, Greta, thank you so much. This is the content that we want to see from your dad. So I think people are very appreciative of seeing another side of you. Greta, how does it, or do you ever feel that people ever try to get close to you in order to get close to your dad? Have you ever felt that coming from close friends or even people that you don't know?
I don't think that's really happened to me because my close group of friends I've had for a while now. And if I met somebody new, it's rather your perception if you notice that they're getting closer to you because of your dad. But I don't think many people have done that before.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could get it either way. So I'm glad you have good people around you.
Greta, I have to ask, have you started to drive yet?
Yes, I have my permit.
Obvious follow-up question. When your dad is in the car with you, what type of driving instruction does he give you? Is he giving it as a dad or as a former F1 guy?
He lets me drive and he gives comments while I'm driving if I do something wrong, but if I do something wrong, I normally know if I did it wrong, or he'll just be like, Greta. But he's not that strict, honestly. I would expect him to be more angry at me sometimes.
She's actually pretty good in driving, and she drives now with the Toyota Tundra. That's her training. It's quite a big. It's a huge truck. So no, and she's doing pretty well, and I think always. To stay calm is the best when you learn driving because otherwise you lose confidence and then that's worse. I mean, so it's just like when she does something and the most stupid thing she does sometimes is guess what? Looking at your cell phone,
I don't look at my phone while I drive. I do not look at my phone while I
Whoa,
drive.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Because I actually don't turn on my I'm not on my phone. It's when we're at a red light and I'm trying to change music because he does not like my music taste.
What is the difference in music taste here? What do we like to listen to on
He likes
Spotify?
he likes old rock.
Okay.
Well, I always connect my phone onto his car, and I don't normally play like my like pop music, my rap music. And he's like, Greta, I don't like this.
It's the same for us.
Well, here's the
Same.
funny thing. You
Yeah,
you talked about turning off your dad's notifications, right? Just before we started the podcast, Jill said to me, "Dad, turn off your notifications. All right, I don't want you to be distracted." Also, in terms of music, I'm a '60s guy. I admit it, right? Jill's a little bit more today mainstream.
Yeah.
In fact, the other night I did her a real solid. Tell them what I did. Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yes. He came to a concert with me because
Kelsey Ballerini.
I had no friends to go with, and I said, "Dad, you're coming along." And yeah, he was
He
it is
didn't
what it
enjoy it, I guess. He didn't enjoy it.
No,
It sounds
not
like.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. As I said to my wife when I got home, I said, it's really tough sitting in a concert for 2 hours when you don't know a single song. Not
And
one.
you have no interest to learn one,
I tried to convince him to go to the Tyler the Creator concert that's coming in March.
Is he going with you, or are you going with a
We're still
friend?
debating.
We're
We're
still
still
debating.
debating.
Still
Yeah, still
debating?
debating. Yeah,
Okay.
still
All right.
debating, So,
Greta, are you a Swiftie?
No.
That's
No.
okay. That's okay.
I mean,
Not
I
for
like
everyone.
Taylor Swift's music, but I'm not as huge of a fan as some other
you
people.
can be honest here, what you really think.
I like some of her music. I like her older music.
Already, it's some before it was her music. Now it's some. Keep on going.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't take offense to, I'm a Swiftie, but I don't take offense to anyone who doesn't like her, doesn't, love her music. Totally fine. That's why we all have different
Well, in the
music
spirit of
tastes.
in the full disclosure, I even went to a Taylor Swift concert with her,
You did.
and I did
you
enjoy
like her?
that one. I did enjoy it.
Clearly,
Yeah.
you have no friends. My best friend
I
are
was
my
going to
parents.
say, I think you need to get some friends.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, that was a different scenario, but I agree with that.
Guenther, now that you've essentially walked away, would it be fair to say that you've walked away from F1?
No, I wouldn't say I walked away.
Okay.
I still this year until the end of the season I go to 2 races, 2 more to go basically. I'm in contact all the time with F1. I do quite a lot. I mean, between the book, I do a book tour. I'm leaving tonight to go to the UK to do the book tour for 2 weeks, which obviously is about F1. But then I go to Las Vegas. I'm doing TV work there for the German TV. Then I go to Abu Dhabi. I do TV work for French TV there. I'm still ambassador for the Miami GP, so I'm still involved quite a bit in it. I'm not running a team, and I actually pretty happy not to run a team anymore because each Sunday night I won the race,
It's true. It's true.
Guenther, if you were granted a do-over, is there anything, and I mean anything, that you would change about your relationship with Greta?
I would not say anything big. I would say I would try to get her and my wife to more with me. But when I traveled, that they are a little bit more with me when Greta could when she was smaller. But it's easy to say now because at the time, you're so much under pressure. So you don't want, because when you're under pressure, it's not fun being around me, when I'm under pressure. So, but maybe I could now manage pressure better because I got older and wiser. I hope so. I don't know about that wiser, but I got older anyway. But I would do that one. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the relationship. I think, we get on pretty well. It's very, very open. I mean, she always complains still that I'm too much away, but even if I stay at home all the time, she would say I'm too much away because then she thinks I need to be there at her duty for the whole 24 hours, So that is just now a thing. But no, maybe I would do that when I would try to get them more with me. So because there was some long periods when I was away more than 3 weeks in a row. It's a long time,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know, and we, from just watching it, it's like a very all-consuming sport, especially when you're in the depths of it. So completely understand. Guenther, what do you admire most about Greta?
actually how relaxed she is about things. She not a lot of things bother her. It's like they bother her, but not to an extent that she worries too much about it.
Yeah.
And oh, yeah, I think I admire that one because kids in this time now, it's sometimes with old information is around, they worry about things, and I think she knows really what to worry about and what not, and what she shouldn't worry because somebody else worries for her, basically mom and me, and which is a good thing, because they should grow up, in my opinion, as relaxed as possible.
Mm-hmm. And Greta, what do you admire most about your dad?
How he's there for me when I need him. Like I'll text him and he'll text back instantly, or I'll call him and he'll call back, even if he has something important, which is good. Even if he's like far away or has a time difference, unless he's sleeping, because I can't do anything against that.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Guenther, I think you would agree that as dads, we always want the best for our daughters. So I'm going to ask both of you, and Greta, I'd like you to go first. What is your greatest hope for each other? Greta, what is your greatest hope for your dad?
Oh God. I hope that I don't know. I want you to go first. Can you go first?
All right, let's set the standard.
Yeah, I can go first. I hope that we can keep a good relationship, that there's no trouble for either of the family in the future, because you never know if there is something out there. But I hope to have a good relationship. Obviously, she will grow older. I will get older. And sometimes you have to part, or you're not in the same house anymore. But I hope that the relationship stays there, for as long as I'm around, So that is the biggest hope for me, because that I think it's always cool if the children have a good relationship with their parents. I think that's the best we can hope, because at some stage they need to stand on their own 2 feet, and that she gets a nice husband. I hope that as well.
What would you like to see in a guy for her then, in that regard?
I really know that.
Tell them the age you want me to start dating.
But I'm not around anymore.
So valid. We've heard that from a lot of dads. So not just you.
Exactly.
You're not on your own
Don't
there.
bring anybody at home as long as I'm around,
Yeah.
Nobody will ever be good enough, right, Guenther?
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely. How can they? How can they,
Yeah.
after having had us as dads? So they can never be as good as we are,
That's right, for sure.
Totally.
So, Greta, have you given it any thought? Your greatest hope for your dad?
Honestly, it's just what he said. I hope we stay close over the years.
And he gets to 200 years old.
Yeah. I hope he gets really old. Really, really old.
I'll tell you a real quick anecdote in that regard. A lot of people don't take me for my age, and we won't say what it is. We'll let you guess if you'd like. But I would say, somewhat considerably older than Jill's friends' dads, right? So when I was 63, she voiced some concern about that. So I said to her, look, do I look older than your friend's dad? She said, no. Do I act older than your friend's dad? She said, no. I said, here's the deal. I'm 63. I've only lived half my life. I truly believe I'm going to make it to at least 126. So I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to be around for a long, long time.
Yeah, I got a similar problem, but with one difference. I'm as well pretty old for her age. So sometimes she's like, "You're so old, you're so old," and I cannot say, "Do I look old?" I just can say, "Do I act old?" No, I act very young, but I look old. So sometimes she sends me away. I mean, all the other parents, they're much younger than you. So,
Guenther, do you mind my asking how old you were when Greta was born?
How old was
15 years ago?
15 years ago, that day I was 44.
Okay, I was 48.
Okay.
Yeah. So similar.
Almost 49. Yeah, very, very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah.
All right. We've now come, if you haven't had enough fun yet, we've come to a section of the podcast we like to call Rapid Fire Roundup. And here's the way it works. We're going to give you very short questions or choices without thinking. Don't give it a lot of thought. Give us an instantaneous response. Okay? You ready? I've got the first question for Guenther. Guenther,
okay. Yeah.
Would you rather have a Model T Ford or a Maserati MC Extrema?
Maserati.
All right, Greta, unsweetened iced tea or sweet tea?
I don't like iced tea or sweet
Okay,
tea.
so neither.
Neither.
Love it.
Okay. Guenther, North Carolina Tar Heels or North Carolina State Wolfpack?
He's suggested from her.
All right,
He would know the difference. Yeah, just say it. Yeah.
Tar Heels.
Tar Heels.
Tar Heels. Okay.
Great. Greta, over to you. Would you rather perform an oil change or fix a flat tire?
Oil change.
Okay, Guenther, your favorite F1 circuit?
Melbourne.
Greta, would you rather be a chair umpire at the Miami Open or referee at the Miami Dolphins football game?
Chair umpire.
All right. Guenther, in your everyday life, driving on the right side of the car, or I should say on the right side of the road or the left side of the road, which do you prefer?
I don't get the question. Sorry.
Oh, would you rather drive on the left side of the road or the right side of the road?
Yeah.
The left side.
Left
Okay.
side.
Guenther, food question. Black Forest cake or Bavarian cream donut?
Black Forest Bavarian cake.
All right.
Okay.
Greta, Nico Hulkenberg or Kevin Magnussen?
Kevin, because I've known him longer.
All righty. Guenther, when Martin Brundle is doing his grid walk, would you rather embrace him or avoid him?
Avoid him. I'm a good friend of Martin, by the way, but
All righty.
But we
Go
will get
ahead.
on to the next question. I'm curious, why do you want to avoid him?
it's just I know him too well, so I don't know. I would say something stupid to him.
Yeah.
When you've got too much confidence. I know the guy since more than 20 years. So it's Martin.
Yeah.
So
All righty.
Okay. Greta, when Hollywood makes, and they will, when Hollywood makes the Guenther Steiner story, who would you like to see play your dad?
My dad.
Wow. There's a good Guenther, have you ever acted?
Would you get into
No.
acting?
No.
No.
Okay. So Guenther, going to ask you, who would you like to see play Greta?
well, I don't know any. I don't know any actress's name. Honestly, sorry. I'm
That's
not.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Greta, is there a particular actor or actress you would
So
want to
who
see
would-
play
who
you?
would, like, yeah.
No, I don't know.
I know that's a hard one to think about on the fly.
Taylor Swift. Let's say Taylor Swift.
Okay. All right.
She's
Sounds good.
acted
All
before.
right.
She's acted
Okay.
before. All right. And
Yeah,
last,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. And last one, Guenther, which driver do you predict will take home the 2024 F1 Drivers' Championship?
Lando Norris.
Her fave.
My guy.
Her favorite.
My
Her
guy.
favorite. Her favorite.
That's
We've
good.
now come to the part of the podcast that we call cross-examination. And what does that mean? We take you guys off the hot seat. We're not grilling you now. You get to ask us a question. So because it's cross-examination, Guenther, you get to ask a question of Jill. Greta, you get to ask a question of me. And you guys can decide who goes first.
You go first.
How long have you been watching F1?
Oh.
Wow. Well, Jill, full admission, she's the real F1 fan in the family, but she did get me involved. So I'm going to say about a year.
Yeah. I would
About
say
a
so.
year. About a year. Now, here's the deal. Here's my one observation, and I know it's changed a little bit lately. And Guenther, I would love to get your take on this. I felt, and when I started watching it, virtually every single race was won. And I know I'm going to blow
This
the name.
was last year.
Yeah,
Max
was won by Max von Steppen.
Verstappen.
Right? I felt that was bad for the sport, that every single race was won by him. What was your take on that?
I think when you know Formula One, this can happen a period of domination. It's pretty normal. When you know the United States and we live here now 18 years, you know that is not acceptable here. And therefore, I think sometimes Formula One had a tough time here to get through because they say, oh, anyway, we know who's winning, and it's still that exists still because if people we analyze the TV numbers obviously and last year. People switched the TV on because they wanted to watch F1, but after 3-4 laps, Max was leading, they changed channel. This year, since it doesn't happen anymore, people stay on the channel. It's a very weird thing. And it's more in the States than anywhere else, because in the States there is normally anybody participating should be able to win. That's what it is. Look at it. I mean, there is domination also in US sports, not as much as but in Europe it's pretty normal in football, in the Premier League. Now Man City is dominating since years, but there will be change because all good things come to an end. That is always my take on it. And I didn't expect that the domination of Max is coming to an end this quick after the start of the season, but now it's wide open to everyone, and that obviously it's a very good thing for Formula One.
I'm curious because, like I said, I know nothing. I'm not even going to say virtually nothing. I know nothing about the sport. When he was winning all those races, was it because he was a superior driver, better car? What does it come down to?
Better car.
Better car.
I mean, the car is still, I always say it's about 80%. And the best way to explain it is a very good driver in a bad car cannot win, but a bad driver in a good car can win. Obviously he's struggling to win, but he can win,
Right.
But if you're the best driver in a bad car, it's impossible. It's just impossible, So that is what I always explain it how it is.
So what makes one car better than another? I'm really curious.
There's a few factors. I mean, the power unit, but they are in the moment very par because there was a freeze in development on them since last year. But it's the aerodynamics, which each team develops their own. That's what makes the difference.
I see.
How you do it.
Interesting.
All right. I'm ready for my question.
Okay, Guenther, let her have it.
Yeah. How did you end up doing this podcast? How did you have this idea? Where it comes from? It must have started somewhere,
Yeah, it did. So I graduated
and
from
who had it?
I started it back in college. This was 4 years ago.
Almost 4 years ago now.
4 years ago now. My senior year of college. I went to school in upstate New York by Syracuse. And initially, it was a podcast about The Bachelor, the TV show. I don't know if you're familiar with it, the reality dating show. So I had one about that my senior year of college. And after I graduated, my co-host then was one of my best friends from school. She got a job in field reporting up in Syracuse, and I wanted to continue it. So when I came home, I wasn't really doing it with her anymore, and I asked my dad if he would hop on and do the podcast about The Bachelor, which most dads wouldn't. So I was very appreciative. But then fast forward to January of 2023, I stopped watching The Bachelor. I wanted to do something with a little more purpose and just something different that we hadn't seen, anyone else really do, which is really talk about the special bond between fathers and daughters. And so that's when we started it, and we changed the concept and the name and everything. And now we've almost been doing it 2 years later. So yeah, and the best part is getting to talk to other fathers and daughters and, find similarities, but also differences in relationships. So yeah, that's kind of how it blossomed and all came together.
But is this part also what you do in your work? Also, you, George, what is your line of work? Is it
my full-time job? I'm a voice actor, a voiceover talent. So I lend my voice to things like commercials, video narrations, voicemail greetings, whatever requires a narration. That's what I do.
Public address announcing.
I do a lot. I've done quite a bit of live announcing. So, for example, I was a public address announcer for a local minor league baseball club here in northern New Jersey. I also am what they call the voice of God. They say that in the script. That's not my description. That's theirs. For example, I just did a major corporate event in New York City last week. So that's primarily what I do.
And you, Jill?
Currently I'm a freelancer in photography and social media. And this also, this is more of a passion project, but we'd love to see it take off. And so it's become really fun and another side project that we've been doing. And I have a blast. So
I will say this, it's really been a kick for me to be able to not so much work with, but work for my daughter, because she's the executive producer. She does 95% of the heavy lifting. She'll edit the episode. She'll create all of the promotional clips. I just show up for the interviews
Not
and
true. Not true.
and lend a helping hand. But she really is the engine that makes this thing go. If I can use somewhat of a car or automotive metaphor. Yeah.
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 So we've
That's
we've had
cool.
a blast with this thing. It's almost 2 years. I think this will be our something like our 77th or 78th episode. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun.
So as you said, you're a voice actor. I did the audiobook myself.
Oh yeah?
You can do my next one.
No, I will tell you this, that is the one voiceover genre that I will not do.
And I told him he should.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of
I did both books.
making work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of talking.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah, reading your own book, it's like it's a lot of work, and
Yeah.
everybody thinks you should know it in and out, but you cannot remember a whole book, it's like it's hard work, and
Very.
yeah.
So how long were you
I found somebody.
how long were you in the booth recording the audiobook?
The first one I did 2-day 8-hour sessions, which what does that to you? The second day you are, brain dead.
Spent. You had to be spent.
Yeah. Then I went to Bahrain for the test. I came back overnight, went into the studio again for another 6 hours, and I finished it.
Wow.
The second one I did in North Carolina. The first one I did in London. The second one I did in North Carolina in Charlotte in a very nice studio. I couldn't bond with the producer. I couldn't do it. He was somewhere else. I couldn't do it. And I had to change. He said, I cannot get to the end with this. It was just, and we found the guy which did the first book again. And then I did 3-day 4-hour sessions. And then I wrapped it up in a 2-hour session at the end. I had to do some from the first, because the first session was 5 hours. So about, 20 hours in total, between 20 and 25. But it's not easy.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. And even me, like I'll give him credit. We record like the openings for our episodes, and it's no joke. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know that, it's hard work,
Big,
like it's just talking, but you need to know, and I struggle with scripts anyway. Scripted for me, it's, I just cannot remember them. Simple as this, if I cannot read them, they're not there. So.
Yeah. Really quickly before we let you go, I saw on your social that you guys attended, obviously, the Miami Dolphins game. How was your first NFL experience?
It was really cool. We honestly, I knew more rules than I expected I would, because I've only been to like one high school football game. But it was really nice. The people were really nice, and the experience was cool to watch, and like the field, it was bigger than you expected. And yeah.
No, it is. We never. It's the first one we go, and the people at Miami GP, which obviously are also Dolphins, they are just good people, and they gave us whatever we wanted. We had everything you can wish for your first NFL game. There's just the next one will be just downhill. There's nothing going uphill from here. There's nothing uphill from here. So, but it was good. It was good to experience, and also experience how the people actually enjoy it. How the fans enjoy an NFL game is completely different to any European sport. We know more American sports. It was
really nice to see how all the even people from different teams were like tailgating together, how everybody came together even though they didn't know each other, and how like kids were having fun. They were like with their parents and stuff. It was really nice to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. You went to a Miami game, I'm assuming in Miami, right? And the weather's gorgeous. So now if you want the really true NFL experience, what you have to do is go up to Green Bay, Wisconsin in the middle of December when it's -6 degrees and go to a Packers game. And then you will be a full-fledged bona fide NFL fan.
Yeah, that's what they told us. This is just too good, to be true. Go. I said when you go up into the north, also to Chicago and places like this in the winter. Yeah, apparently it's rough there.
Yeah. Brutal.
I'm not gonna do that, guys. So
totally fair. I mean, I wouldn't either, probably. So, and I grew up in New Jersey where it gets cold in the winter. So I agree.
So before we put a bow on this episode, before we go, we want to give you an opportunity to promote anything you've got going on right now, anything that's coming up in the future.
Where people can follow you on social.
Yeah.
No, you can follow me on Life of Steiner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. I've got my expert there. So
Yep.
because if I say it wrong, then he said, why you didn't say it wrong? You should have told me then. So I asked Life of Steiner, but no, otherwise, I mean, I think the new book came out 3 weeks ago. So that's a good thing to read. So entertaining. It's not only about Formula One; it's about life as well. So I think it is written in a style that people can read it, even if they're not avid F1 fans, just for entertainment. So, but otherwise, no, all good. And thank you. And I think what you're doing is pretty cool,
Thank you.
to do this, because in coming up with the idea, credit for that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
We appreciate
Greta, do you
that.
have anybody you want to
That
follow you on
Closing,
social?
a
Or
closing line.
Thank you for having us.
you are so welcome.
Thank you
You're
for having us.
Was this your first podcast?
Yes.
Well, we're very appreciative. I know your dad does a lot of podcasts, so we're appreciative of this being your first podcast. Yeah.
So Guenther Steiner and Greta Steiner, thank you for an informative, revved up, and exhilarating talk to go.